The world is divided into two types of people: the ones who enter rooms and shift the energy, and the ones who enter rooms and disappear. You have felt this your entire life. You walk into a space where powerful people gather and you feel invisible. You see certain individuals command attention without speaking a word. They get the opportunities. They get the respect. They get the access. And you work harder. You try to be smarter. You try to prove your value. But you are ignored. You are left wondering why your talent isn't enough, why your effort isn't rewarded, why others with half your ability are inside the circle while you remain outside. Here is the brutal truth that nobody wants to tell you. Powerful people don't care about your talent or potential. They care about one thing: what you can do for them, what problem you solve, what value you create. And if you don't understand this, if you keep showing up like you're making friends instead of playing chess, you will stay invisible forever. You will remain the person who gets passed over while you wonder when it'll be your turn. Machiavelli spent his life watching power change hands. He saw empires rise and fall. He witnessed brilliant men get crushed and mediocre ones ascend to greatness. He watched as the most talented advisors got exiled while the most strategic ones became indispensable. And he cracked the code. He figured out the pattern, the hidden mechanics, the invisible rules that govern how the powerless become powerful, how outsiders become insiders, how invisible people become the ones everyone notices, everyone needs, everyone protects. What I'm about to show you isn't networking advice. This isn't about collecting business cards or perfecting your handshake. This is psychological warfare disguised as connection. These are the 13 ruthless laws that separate those who beg for scraps from those who sit at the table. The principles that turn powerful people from gatekeepers into allies, from strangers into sponsors, from obstacles into opportunities. These laws work. They've worked for 500 years. They'll work for you. But you have to understand something critical before we go deeper. Once you see how this game works, you can't unsee it. Once you understand the mechanics of power, you can't go back to being naive. Once you learn these laws, every interaction with powerful people will be different. You'll see the strings. You'll understand the moves. You'll recognize the patterns that invisible people miss. In the next few minutes, everything changes. You're going to learn exactly how to position yourself so that powerful people want you in their circle. Not because you begged, not because you impressed them with credentials, but because you've become strategically necessary to their world in ways they don't even fully understand. Now drop this in the comments. I refuse to beg for access. I become the asset. Let's dismantle everything you think you know. You approach powerful people like you're asking for something, a favor, an opportunity, a chance to prove yourself. And you think if you're respectful enough, if you're humble enough, if you demonstrate enough value, they'll help you. They won't, because you've already positioned yourself wrong. You've already signaled that you're the one with less, the one looking up, the one who needs something from them. You're the beggar, and beggars don't get seats at the table. Powerful people are drowning in beggars. Every single day, people approach them wanting something. Everyone has a pitch, a request, a dream that requires their blessing, an idea that needs their funding, a career that needs their introduction. They've built walls specifically to keep these people out. High walls, thick walls, walls with guards. And you keep walking up to those walls with your resume in hand, your pitch prepared, your need showing on your face, wondering why the gates won't open, wondering what magic password everyone else knows that you don't. The gates don't open when you push. They open when you have the key. But nobody's going to hand you the key just because you deserve it. You have to forge it yourself. You have to understand something fundamental about power dynamics, about human psychology, about the hidden architecture of influence that governs every elite circle. Here's the truth that changes everything. Connection isn't about getting powerful people to like you. It's about getting them to need you. And need doesn't come from what you want from them. It comes from what you provide to them, not your skills on paper, not your potential someday, but the specific psychological and strategic needs that they cannot fulfill themselves. Machiavelli watched this play out over and over. Skilled courtiers rose to power not by being the most talented people in the kingdom. They rose by being the most necessary, by filling voids that the prince didn't even know existed, by becoming so embedded in the machinery of power that removing them would cause the whole system to shake, to break, to fail. This is what we're going to build inside you. Not networking, strategic positioning, not connection, psychological entanglement, not relationships, power architecture. You're going to learn how to become someone that powerful people cannot afford to ignore, cannot afford to lose, cannot afford to keep at a distance. And it starts with killing the part of you that seeks validation, the part that wants them to see how great you are, the part that needs them to recognize your worth. That part is weak. That part signals desperation. That part makes you controllable, predictable, easy to dismiss. That part keeps you outside forever. Let's begin with the laws, the 13 principles that govern how this actually works, how access is really granted, how influence is actually built. Law 1. Never appear more capable than those above you. Most ambitious people destroy themselves here. They meet someone powerful and demonstrate how competent they are, how smart, how accomplished. They think this earns respect. It doesn't. It triggers threat response. When you shine too brightly in their presence, you don't become an ally. You become a problem to solve. Machiavelli warned, never let those above you think you outshine them. Not because you should be less capable, but because capability is only valuable when it serves someone else's ego, not threatens it. Smart operators offer ideas in a way that makes the powerful person feel like the genius. I was thinking about what you said earlier, and it made me realize, now they get credit. They feel wise. They're the source of insight. You're not diminishing yourself. You're amplifying them. Let them feel superior. Let them take credit. While they're basking in that feeling, you're observing their weaknesses, learning their patterns, identifying the gaps where you become essential. Glory is cheap. Influence is valuable. Let them have the glory. You take the influence. Law 2. Keep your intentions invisible. Desperation has a smell. Powerful people detect it the second you walk in. The moment they smell that hunger, they close the gate. You need to approach like you don't need them, like you have options, like this meeting is interesting but not essential. Machiavelli wrote, keep your desires hidden. Make your presence a mystery. When they can't figure out what you want, they become curious. They start projecting. They fill in the blanks with something more interesting than your actual intention. Don't talk business immediately. Don't pitch. Don't ask. Talk about their art collection, their recent trip. Anything that makes you seem interested in them as a person, not as a means. This makes them feel seen beyond their power. Everyone wants something from them. Nobody just wants to know them. When you provide that rare experience, you become memorable. Then later, much later, when trust exists, then you reveal what you offer. Not what you want, what you offer. By then, they're already invested in you. Law 3. Speak to their self-interest, never to their mercy. Most people approach powerful people with, "I deserve a chance." They list qualifications. They explain struggles. They appeal to fairness, to kindness, to mercy. And powerful people nod. They say encouraging things. Then they do nothing. Because mercy is expensive. It creates no benefit, pure cost. But self-interest is the language of power. Position yourself as the solution to their problem. Not, "I need an opportunity," but "You have a problem and I have a solution." Find out what they're struggling with, what competitor threatens them, what system is breaking. Then position yourself as the bridge between their current pain and their desired future. Machiavelli advised, "A prince must always act in his own interest. Create aligned interest. Make your success inseparable from their success. Make helping you the same thing as helping themselves. Now you're not a beggar, you're an investment." Powerful people love investments. They hate favors. Law 4. Master strategic absence. If you're always available, always eager, always saying yes, you communicate low value. You tell powerful people that your time costs nothing. This is death for influence. Powerful people respect their own time above all else. If you give your time freely, they assume it's worthless. But if your time is scarce, suddenly you become valuable. Machiavelli observed, "Familiarity breeds contempt. Distance commands respect." When you're always present, you become furniture. When you're selective, each appearance carries weight. When a powerful person reaches out, don't respond immediately. Have a life. Have priorities. When they invite you to something, don't always say yes. Sometimes you have other commitments, not as an excuse, as reality. This creates psychological hunger. They wonder what you're working on, where you are. Your absence creates a gap in their mind that curiosity fills. When you do show up, your presence feels like an event, not an expectation. Strategic absence isn't playing games. It's honoring your own value. It's refusing to communicate that their world matters more than yours. Because the moment you signal that, you become subordinate. And subordinates get used, not respected. Law 5. Become their mirror. Everyone is obsessed with themselves. We're all desperate to find people who see the world the way we do, who confirm our reality. When you meet a powerful person, reflect who they are. How do they speak? Fast or slow? What words do they use? Match it. You're creating neurological synchronization. Their brain labels you as same, and same is trusted. Machiavelli understood men judge others by reflecting on themselves. Become their reflection, and they will judge you favorably. You're selecting which parts of yourself to amplify based on what will resonate. When they look at you, they should see the best version of themselves looking back. This creates addiction. They'll want you around because you make them feel more like themselves. Law 6. Control information flow. Powerful people are often isolated, surrounded by yes men, fed filtered information. They're starving for truth, for street-level intelligence. If you can bring them unfiltered intelligence, you become invaluable. This isn't gossip. This is strategic intelligence. Market shifts they haven't seen. Competitor moves they don't know about. Internal problems their team is hiding. You become their eyes where they cannot see. Never reveal your sources. Maintain monopoly on your information supply. If they can get the intelligence without you, they don't need you. Keep the source hidden. Deliver the fruit. Law 7. Give them a shared enemy. Nothing bonds humans faster than common opposition. If you want to connect deeply with a powerful person, identify what they hate. Then align yourself with that opposition. Do they hate inefficiency? Validate their frustration. Do they hate their competitors? Share their contempt. Whatever their enemy is, make it your enemy too. Machiavelli observed, "Common enemies create uncommon bonds." You're proving that you see the same dragons they see, that you understand the same battles they fight. This creates alliance. Us against the world is the most powerful bonding agent in human psychology. Law 8. Play to their fantasy. Powerful people live in carefully constructed self-images. The brutal CEO sees himself as a visionary leader. The aggressive entrepreneur sees herself as a generous mentor. These fantasies matter more than reality. Identify what fantasy they need to believe about themselves. Then become the character that supports it. If they see themselves as the wise teacher, become the eager student. If they want to be the rebel, become the accomplice. Machiavelli knew, a prince must appear to possess virtues even if he does not. Don't challenge their self-image, reinforce it. If you're the one person who makes them feel like who they wish they were, they'll protect that relationship fiercely. Law 9. Master emotional alchemy. Powerful people operate under immense pressure. Most people add to that stress. They bring problems, drama, urgent needs. You must be the opposite. You become the person who makes their life easier. When they're frantic, you're steady. When they're angry, you're rational. When they're overwhelmed, you're organized. The most powerful phrase you can speak is, "It's handled." Those two words mean they can stop thinking about something, can trust it's taken care of. If you consistently make powerful people feel less stressed after interacting with you, they'll seek you out, not because of your skills, because of how you make them feel. Law 10. Remain formless. Rigid people break. Adaptive people survive. You cannot insist on being yourself in the same way everywhere. You must be water, able to fill whatever container you're poured into. Some situations require aggression. Some require submission. If you're always the same, you'll clash. But if you can adapt, you become universally useful. Machiavelli praised the fox for its adaptability. Don't get attached to a single identity. Adapt to what's needed, formal or casual, serious or playful. Remove the friction. Make it easy for them to include you. Law 11. Make yourself necessary. If they can replace you, you're vulnerable. If they need you, you're secure. You must become so embedded in their success that removing you would damage their operation. Find the task they hate doing but cannot avoid. Master it. Own it completely. Or identify a relationship they need but don't have access to. Become the bridge. You want them to wake up thinking, "What would I do without you?" Machiavelli wrote, "Make yourself indispensable and you will never be cast aside. But never teach them how to do what you do. Keep the skill specialized. If they learn your secrets, they don't need you anymore." Law 12. Control their options. The most powerful person in any interaction is the one who wrote the menu. When powerful people come to you for advice, don't give them infinite options. That creates decision fatigue. Curate. Present 2 or 3 options. Frame them clearly. We can do A, which carries these risks, or B, which offers these benefits. I recommend B. Now they feel like they're making the decision, but you've controlled the framework. Machiavelli advised, "A wise prince should rely on his own judgment, but accept counsel in making it." You become the counsel. You filter options down to manageable choices that all serve your interests. Law 13. Maintain radical autonomy. This is the paradox that makes everything work. To connect with powerful people, you must not need them. If your existence depends on their approval, they'll smell it. You must have your own thing, your own mission, your own kingdom, even if it's small. You must be willing to walk away from any deal. The person who can walk away holds all the leverage. When you sit across from a billionaire, you must know that you'll be fine without them. You're not there to take, you're there to trade. This energy changes everything. You stop fidgeting, you become solid, and solidity is magnetic. Powerful people are surrounded by people who need them. When they meet someone who respects them but doesn't need them, they're fascinated. Machiavelli wrote, "Better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Better to be respected than needed. Build your autonomy first. Then approach powerful people not as a petitioner, but as a peer. Trading value for value." Take a breath. Let these laws settle. I know part of you is uncomfortable right now. This feels calculating, manipulative, cold, like you're becoming someone you don't recognize. Good. That discomfort means you're actually understanding it, because this is strategic. This is calculated. This is a game with rules that nobody advertised but everyone at the top plays. And you have two choices. You can stay innocent, believing the world should work differently than it does, clinging to the fantasy that good people automatically get recognized and hard work always gets rewarded. Or you can play the game that's actually being played, the one happening right now, the one that determines who rises and who stays stuck. Look around. Every powerful structure you see, every successful organization, every person who broke through from nothing to something was built on these principles, not on fairness, not on niceness, not on hoping the right people notice at the right time, on strategy, on understanding human nature at its deepest level, on using psychological leverage to create outcomes that serve their vision. Machiavelli wasn't teaching evil, he was teaching reality. He looked at power without flinching, without wishful thinking, without comfortable delusions. And he described exactly what he saw: the patterns, the mechanics, the truth beneath the pleasant surface. You can be angry at this reality. You can wish it were different. You can spend years hoping the world changes to match your ideals. Or you can master the reality that actually exists, but you cannot change it by pretending it's different. You cannot alter the rules by refusing to acknowledge them. When you apply these laws, you're not betraying your values. You're protecting them. You're giving yourself the power to implement them, because powerless people cannot change anything, cannot build anything lasting, cannot help anyone beyond their immediate circle, cannot shift systems or create opportunities or open doors for others. Power is necessary for good, and if good people refuse to pursue power because they think it's corrupt, because they think wanting influence makes them dirty, then only people without those concerns will hold all the cards. Only people who don't care about your values will shape the world. These 13 laws are tools. Like any tool, they can build or destroy. They can serve noble purposes or selfish ends. They can create alignment or manipulate vulnerability. The tool itself is neutral. Your intention, your character, your purpose, those determine the morality of how you use it. You now hold knowledge that most people never acquire. Most people will spend their entire lives wondering why powerful people ignore them, why their talent doesn't open doors, why their dedication doesn't get rewarded. They'll blame the system, they'll blame privilege, they'll blame luck, they'll blame everything except their own lack of understanding about how influence actually works. But you know now. You know the truth. Power responds to power. Strategy responds to strategy. The laws respond to those who understand the laws and implement them with precision and patience. The 13 laws aren't chains keeping you trapped in ignorance. They're keys unlocking doors you couldn't even see before. Doors that have always been there but remained invisible until you learned to look for them. But keys don't turn themselves. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Understanding without implementation is just theory. You have to make the choice. You have to take the action. You have to start showing up differently, speaking differently, positioning differently in every interaction with powerful people. This is where most people stop. Right here. They learn the theory and do nothing with it. They understand the principles and stay frozen. They see the path and refuse to walk it because it requires uncomfortable change, because it means killing parts of themselves they've been comfortable with, because it demands they operate at a level they've never operated at before. Don't be most people. Most people stay invisible. Most people watch others rise while they wonder when their turn will come. Most people die with their potential locked inside, never accessed, never actualized, never brought into the world. Starting today, you approach powerful people differently, not as someone seeking favor, as someone offering value they cannot find elsewhere, not as someone looking up in admiration, as someone looking across in mutual respect, not as someone who needs access, as someone who provides access to things they cannot reach without you. The shift is internal first. The energy changes. The neediness dies. The desperation evaporates. Then it becomes external. The way you walk into rooms, the way you speak, the way you hold silence, the way you create space instead of filling it. The world is designed to keep you powerless, to keep you hoping, to keep you believing that someday, somehow, someone will notice your worth and hand you the opportunities you deserve. That's the lie that keeps you compliant, keeps you waiting, keeps you outside the room where the real decisions get made. But you're done waiting. You're done hoping. You're done believing that following their stated rules will somehow get you invited to play the real game. You understand now that the real game has different rules, hidden rules, ruthless rules, rules that reward strategic thinking over good intentions, rules that reward psychological sophistication over naive sincerity. The 13 laws are your path from invisible to indispensable, from overlooked to essential, from outsider to insider, from someone powerful people dismiss to someone they cannot afford to lose, but only if you use them, only if you practice them, only if you commit fully to becoming the kind of person that operates on a different level than everyone else competing for the same access. So make the choice right now. Not later, not after you think about it more. Right now. Are you going to keep showing up the old way, hoping somehow for different results? Or are you going to implement these laws, starting with your very next interaction, and watch how quickly everything changes? The room where decisions get made is waiting. The powerful people inside are waiting for someone who understands the real rules to walk through the door. Someone who speaks their language, someone who plays their game with skill and precision, someone who becomes necessary instead of remaining hopeful. That someone is you. Now comment this: I am the asset, I am the key, I am the necessity. Welcome to the inner circle.